There may be some reasons why a person wishes to create their American company in a state other than Delaware. A first reason may be to carry on a commercial activity in a single state. For example, a 75-year-old man who has always lived in New York City wants to open a pizzeria on the corner of his street without any idea of future expansion. In such a case, it is logical that his company should be created in the state of New York. Let's take another example. A person wishes to purchase a property in Florida through an American company. This will be her only investment, with no idea of acquisition in a state other than Florida. Again, it makes sense that her company would be created in the state of Florida. A second reason may be to provide a positive perception as a result of the creation of the company in a particular state. For example, a startup wants to fund a project via Kickstarter, a specialized crowdfunding platform. The target audience for its project is mainly located in California. In such a case, it is logical to create the new company in California. Finally, a third reason may be to avoid a negative perception as a result of the creation of the company in a particular state. For example, a woman may want to create her company in a state other than Delaware, since that state is sometimes mistaken for a tax haven. In such a case, this lady will want to create her American company in a state that, in her opinion, attracts less attention. However, there are significant consequences when choosing a state other than Delaware. First of all, let's consider the costs of creation. For example, in the state of Nevada, there are several government fees to pay when creating a company, including the costs of a Nevada business license. We must also consider the annual costs. For example, in California, a minimum corporate tax of $800 is payable annually, regardless of sales volume. Finally, do not forget the tax costs. Generally, if a person creates a Delaware company but will have no physical place of business in the state, it generally does not have to pay income tax in Delaware. However, if we create a company in any other state, tax experts teach us that the income tax is payable merely because of the fact that the company was created in that state. For example, as soon as a corporation is created in the state of New York, it is required to file an income tax return in that state, regardless of the amount of its sales. Some jurisdictions are particularly popular. For example, Florida. There are a lot of economic and real estate activities in this southern state, which attracts many foreign investors. For its part, California invariably attracts web, computer, and film entrepreneurs. Finally, New York State, thanks to the city of the same name, is an incredible magnet that attracts foreign entrepreneurs from all over the world. Take note, some jurisdictions are particularly expensive, both in terms of creation costs and annual costs. These states include California, Texas, and Nevada. Finally, here are 3 points you should remember. Point 1. Each year, a survey is conducted among the 1,000 largest U.S. law firms. This survey includes the best place to start a company in the United States. Invariably, for more than 20 years, Delaware has always finished at the top of this survey. In addition, over 95% of CorpoMax customers choose Delaware. Point 2. You do not choose a jurisdiction to create a company like you choose a television in a big box store. If you do not have the knowledge or training to choose a location of your American company, I strongly recommend that you seek the services of a U.S. lawyer, accountant, or tax expert. Point 3. Starting an American business is a serious operation. The search for quality information must be just as serious. In other words, be careful what you read in some blogs published by non-professionals.